This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by All-Star Vacation Homes. And, on your next trip to Walt Disney World, why not have a lot of great amenities while you're staying at Walt Disney World? Why not have a private pool, full kitchen, game room, theater? These are just some of the great amenities that a typical All-Star Vacation Home has. Check them out online. Go to www.allstarvacationhomes.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Friday, July 31st, 2009, and this is episode 598 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hodgberg of StudiosCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Mike Scopa, a senior feature writer and blogger for allears.net. Yes, he's still alive. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Here's something I wanted to spring on you.
Yeah, Fozzie and Muppet Vision.
Right.
Also joining us, the man who picked July 31st in the Deadpool. That would be Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Sorry, Mike.
Well, can I get my 20 back at least?
Yeah.
Still time.
Still time. Also joining us on today's show is Fred Block, the man behind Magic Meets. Welcome, Fred.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah. And also joining us on today's show once again is Chris Eliopoulos of DesperateTimes.com. Welcome back to the show, Chris.
I'm now considered the fifth Beatle.
Something like that.
Yoko?
Yeah, definitely.
You're more like
Definitely better than being Jacko.
You're more of a
Eliopoulos.
He's more of a Julian.
You're dead right, Fred. You're dead right.
Oh.
Or is it Jerko?
Anyway, before on today's show, we're talking about Magic Meets 2009, and before all you British people stop this episode because I'm not going to Magic Meets this year.
Hello, Governor.
Hello, Governor. This is actually, we're going to talk about our broadcast schedules. Don't forget, in addition to Magic Meets being held in Pennsylvania and Harrisburg, it's also going to be broadcast online at WDWtoday.com. We're going to be having an all-day session over there. So we're going to talk a lot about our plans for the day, as well as both online and in person. And for those of you who actually will be attending, I know many of our listeners come each year to it. It's a really fun event that Fred puts on. So Fred, let's turn it over to you here. Magic Meets this year is being held on August 8, 2009, and this is the 5th year you're doing it? 6th year?
Actually, the 6th year, but our 5th year in Pennsylvania.
Nice. So let's talk about the event. I mean, it's one of, I know it's a highlight for all of us to go there. We love doing it. It's a lot of fun. And what we'd like to do, we'll talk to you, Fred, a little bit about it, and then Chris, who's a first-timer to Magic Meets, will ask us some questions about it so we can help him answer it. But let's talk about for those who have never heard of Magic Meets, I know we get new listeners all the time. And can you kind of give us the, in a nutshell, description of Magic Meets?
Sure. Magic Meets is, and my apologies in advance to those that have heard this probably a dozen times or half a dozen times, but it's basically a chance for all of us who have that passion for Disney and the magic that it's created at the parks to get together somewhere outside of the parks and be with a bunch of friends, who all kind of get it and are all have the similar likes. We get as many people together as possible. So, there's just over 550, again this year. And we have a day of talking. We have lunch. We have breakout sessions and games to play and prizes to give away.
Oh yeah, definitely a highlight of it. I mean, being over there is certainly the prizes, and actually one of the things, tying this back into the podcast here a little bit. There's the Dream Team auction, which you're holding once again this year, and you're hosting it rather. I mean, the Dream Team folks over there, which work with Lou Mangello, put on an auction to benefit Lou Mangello's Dream Team Foundation. It's a lot of fun, and actually, in addition to people being there and bidding on items to raise money for charity, actually our listeners can also help out. And Newell, perhaps you'd probably be best to talk about this, as I know you and I are going to be really at the center of it in terms of handling a lot of these things. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, we did this last year, and this will be our 2nd year doing it. Tell our listeners a little bit about how they can help a great cause.
Right, Matt. Just like what we did last year, we're going to also open up an online site that's called First Giving, which the money that we will solicit goes right to the charity, which is the Lou's Dream Team Foundation. That money will go help the kids at the Make-A-Wish Foundation. we're just going to solicit for that online. So you don't have to be there, but if you want to help out, it's a great cause.
I was to say, for everyone who donates online, actually, we'll be mentioning your name and where you're from on the air. So to thank you personally for your donation. So everyone who helps out will definitely be recognized online in the podcast. And last year we raised, what did we raise, like $1,600 last year?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
it was
it was
very,
amazing.
very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. Made the listeners definitely made a huge difference at the in the total at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So we'll have lots of details on that at www.today.com as we get closer to Magic Meets. But Fred, Magic Meets also is about talking about Disney and sharing the magic and discussing it. And you've got a couple of interesting speakers and topics this year.
Yeah, a couple of people you might know. And I guess I'll run through the topics really quick just to give everybody an idea on who's going to be doing them. And I'll start with one of them is a topic that I've heard a lot of people asking about, and that's we're moving to Disney World. So Lou Mongello and Matt Hochberg, somebody are going to talk about what it was like to pack up everything and move to the world, so to speak. We also have the return of the Adventures Are Always Better with Friends with Deb Wills and Becky Mankin. It was a very popular topic. The room was filled last year on Sunday, so we brought that in this year to do on Saturday, so everybody can get a listen. Mike Scopa is going to be doing Disney, the cheap and the free. So that's another topic that I think is going to be enjoyable.
I don't like cheap, so.
Yeah. So and then we're also going to do the Disney World Moms panel is also going to be there, and they're going to be doing an advice session. Just ask Mom. Who better to ask for advice than Mom? So John Rick of the Central Jersey Disney Pin Traders is going to be doing a Pin Trader's Life for Me, and going over some Pirates pins and pin sets specifically. Then we're going to be doing Tim Devine is doing Disney Fan Photography 101, which is going to go through basics as well as advanced techniques, but mostly just to focus on how to get that perfect picture, how to frame it up and get that perfect picture. So Tim's going to be doing a talk, and this is his first year doing a talk at Magic Meets, so I'm sure he's excited. And that's what we're looking at as far as breakouts right now. Justin, of course, we've already announced is Justin Machoni, the Disney CMO, is going to be doing a talk called Making Everyday Magic. That's going to be one of our early talks in the main ballroom. And then in the afternoon, everybody in the ballroom is going to get a chance to play a little trivia with Mr. Lou Mongello himself.
Nice. So let's that's kind of an overview, and of course, with that, we're going to be having it's all day coverage starting at 8 a.m. Eastern time and going all the way throughout the day at 6 p.m. And we had a lot of great listeners who stuck through us the entire day, like Masayo in Japan, which blew our minds that she would stick around quite that long. But all the listeners, especially Europeans who don't get a chance to hear things live because of the time difference, it's a great opportunity for you to, if you can't be there, to at least try to get part of it there. And certainly, I will be trying to take your calls and your comments over there, so it'll be a lot of fun. And joining in the fun this year is Chris Eliopoulos. Now, Chris, this is the first time Chris is going to be at Magic Meets. So, Chris, I know that you've kind of been talking to us, before this episode, say, guys, I got all these questions about Magic Meets. So we're going to turn the show over to you now, and let us know what are some questions that we can answer for you, because I'm sure that there are other people who are going to Magic Meets that have these similar questions.
Yeah. All right. Let me start at the beginning and ask about. I'm arriving on the Friday before the Magic Meets.
Okay.
So, is there anything going on, or is there people meeting in certain places, or is it just sort of like go to your hotel room, or go out and drink and walk home and pass out, or?
Scopa?
Len won't be there. I don't want to speak for Fred, but the last 2 years, Fred, we've had a Meet Before the Magic, and it's what it is, Chris. It's a little extra treasure that Fred put together. I think along with Becky and maybe Deb. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Fred.
That's correct. Yeah, that's right.
They're co-sponsors, and we get everybody together, and a couple of surprises going on, and there's refreshments, and it just gets everybody into the swing of things. So that will take place on Friday night, and also on Friday night we will have the second annual, I guess, Magic Tunes. I don't know what you call it, a breakout session, a game, entertainment, whatever, where we will have
Insanity.
insanity. We will have celebrities playing a sort of a name that tune kind of a game, and Mr. Newell and myself will be co-hosts and running the show there. And it was a lot of fun last year. We would play a few notes of a famous Disney song. It could be from a movie. It could be from a theme park. It could be from an attraction, and the celebrities try to guess it. It's a lot of fun, and it was so welcomed last year that instead of having one room, we had to open up the other rooms, and we had to expand the room. I think we had it planned for 1 or 2 rooms, and it turned out to be like 5 rooms. When we expanded, we had to open up the doors to the place that we had the Meet Before the Magic. I don't know how many people were there, but it was quite a lot.
Yeah, I'd say it was close to 100 people, give or take.
Yeah, and I think Fred, maybe you could talk about the karaoke thing we're going to be doing too Friday night, is it?
Yep, and actually, I should say before we go on though, the Meet Before the Magic is sold out. It was a numbered person event, and the tickets for the event sold out in like 16 hours or 18 hours after we opened it. So, just wanted to make sure that was something that everybody knew. If you have a ticket, that's good. If you don't, unfortunately, the room is already at capacity, so we can't really add any more people. So yes, and again, one thing I also remind everybody that Celebrity Magic Tunes is also fundraising. So we do ask for people to donate a minimum $5 at the door, and the money does go to to charities. It goes to both Deb and Lou's charities. We split the money down the middle. So think about that also. And new for this year is Arugas. So the backstory on that is the bar at the Radisson is somewhat small, and probably not capable of handling the size of our group as we would normally expect. But fortunately, Aruga's opened up next door, and I mean immediately next door, and it's a great bar and a great place, and the food is really good, and there's it's a big bar, so they can handle our crowd better. And they offered us some private room space and our own DJ for karaoke. So Tacey Atkinson has been working very hard at getting it all ready for us, and again, that's also going to be a fundraising event. So I want to see a lot of people there. We still have room. Last I checked, I think we were at around 80 or 85 people out of the 100 or so that'll fit. So there's not much room, but I think it's going to be a popular event. And you know what? In the end, one of the things I always say about Magic Meets is, if you like karaoke, great. If you don't, great. Just remember, you're there to be with your friends and have a good time, and that's what we're pushing the whole weekend.
Chris?
Great. What about, so explain to me now, in the morning we get in there, is it set up like a convention where there's tables around? I believe it's like in a big hall, right? Is that the way it's done?
Yep. The main ballroom is a 15,000 square foot oval. It's not your usual setting, but yes, there's going to be a bunch of tables of 10 round, where you're going to go in, you're going to find a place to sit once you come into the ballroom, and of course after you say ooh and ah, because it's going to be decorated so festively, you're going to find a place to sit with some table mates, because you're going to be there with them pretty much the whole day, because once you find a table, that's where you are. And all the way around the perimeter of the room, there will be tables of different special guests and sponsors that are helping Magic Meets. So you'll be able to mingle and meet all those people as well.
So there are things to buy or little tchotchkes that you might want, or that people are offering, or things like that?
I'd say a lot of the time, most of it is giveaways.
Okay.
Like there's swag, which is also popular at these events. So I know that there's games to be played to get you, to get to know people around you. It's mostly small trinkets. I don't recall there being anybody that's going to be selling this year. We had one last year, but and then Tim Devine is going to be the Magic and Pixels. He's going to be doing pictures at his table.
So then everybody gets in there, we all arrive, and does it most of the day spent in the hall, inside that room, or is there I know you said there's breakout sessions where people go different places, but is it happening all day long, or is it there are times for it?
Man, these are great questions. So yeah, you are going to spend a good portion, and I think everybody will agree with me, a good portion of the day you will spend in the main ballroom. However, you're not like seated at your table the whole time, because you're going to have the ability to get up and mingle and talk with people. And there are 2 different sessions of breakouts, one set of breakouts in the morning, one set of breakouts in the afternoon, where you'll get up and you'll go to a different room to listen to a presentation or a talk. But in the end, after those are over, and they're about 50 minutes in length, you'll come back to the main ballroom. That's where we'll have lunch, which is going to be approximately 2 hours. Again, downtime, be able to relax, be able to enjoy your lunch. And then we'll have another set of breakout sessions in the afternoon and go from there.
Chris?
Now the rooms, how many people do they hold, and how early should you get to that room if you want to secure a spot?
Oh, wow. Now that's a tough one. Honestly, the issue here is that the rooms can hold approximately 90 to 100 people each. After that, they are filled. And, unfortunately, we can't overfill a room, and I know that means that there's close to 550 people there, but realistically, if you got to understand that some of the people that are attending in that 550 count are people who are helping to staff the event, plus sponsors. So, yes, we don't have enough space for everybody. Unfortunately, that's been the case every year. There's nothing I can do about that. But we're going to try some new things this year to try to handle it as best as we could. I would recommend, and we tell everybody, try to pick a first and second option for your breakouts, for both your morning session and your afternoon session, and go from there. We're going to hand out tickets this year to people in a line queue to try to make sure that we carefully don't overfill the room. I want to make sure everybody knows safety is the number one concern. So we have to make sure that we try to do this a little bit more orderly than in previous years.
So, like in the past, what you're saying is like they always say in Muppets, like don't charge in there like raging bulls and stuff. You just, but everybody does it anyway. Yeah,
I mean, unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, I think that because people have, this is going to be our 3rd year, at the Radisson. So people who have been at the previous year events are very familiar with what happens. And unfortunately, there's a chance that you might get locked out of a session that you wanted to see. And again, the room sizes are limited. I want to do all I can to make sure everybody gets to see their sessions, but I can't make the rooms any bigger than they are. So unfortunately, we do have the limit of approximately 300 people, in the breakout rooms at any given time.
Now, in the main room, in the hall, I keep calling it a hall. I know you're going to change the name. There'll also be kind of talks once in a while. Is that
yes, there's a keynote talk in the morning, which kicks off the day, and then right after that you go into your first breakouts, and then in the afternoon, Lou's trivia game will be done in the ballroom also. So what we always guarantee people is, even if you don't get to see your breakouts, you will get to see the main ballroom presentations, because obviously they're done in the main ballroom.
And it goes till what time? What time is the end of the day?
6 o'clock.
Okay.
Sometimes we go a little bit over. Well, that's a good question too. Could you guys feed him these questions? Honestly. Now, after the day is over, when you think it's over, it's really not over, because we have a scrapbooking event that's being held in one of the breakout rooms, and then there will be a pin trading event in one of the other breakout rooms. So those are from like 8 p.m. till midnight. So you'll have a little bit of time to unwind, have some dinner, whatever you like, and then go to some evening activities if you'd like.
Okay. Now, the talks that are given, the breakout rooms and stuff like that, is it more sort of like the information that this show provides, where you find out information, or is it more of fans getting together and just enjoying the company of the other and discussing their love for Disney?
See, now that's a really good question, and I'm going to have to say...
Stop saying that.
I'm going to have to... Yeah, see, I should stop saying that. I'm going to have to say that, obviously the people who are putting on the talks realize that a good number of the people that are attending the event are diehard Disney fans. They might be a little bit more on the advanced side as far as their knowledge or their ability to plan a trip or anything like that. So I'd say that the topics are targeted to something you definitely would be interested in learning or hearing more about, that you might already know. And of course, the fact that you're doing it with friends makes it all the more easier and more fun.
Right. Now, a lot of people, I would assume, may be bringing their children. Is there anything for them to keep the kids happy and doing something?
Yep, there is. There are kids' room sessions that we've done, and there will be 3 of them throughout the day. And those kid room sessions include a magician. David Fun will be doing his 3rd year.
The David Fun?
Show. That's right, the David Fun. Wow. And he does a great show. Honestly, I get a lot of positive feedback from him. And, he does some of the same things every year, and he also brings in some new gags. And the kids really do love him. If you'll hear the kids, definitely screaming for him. So we're doing the magic, and then Johnny Zotto is coming back to do one of his drawing sessions again. A lot of great feedback last year on his breakout room. The kids loved it. They all got to draw something, and then they get to take something home with them, which is also nice. And in the end, April Baker and my wife, Renee Block, will be doing the last session, which is going to be, kind of like arts and crafts and games. Oh my, a little bit of everything, in one of the rooms. So there's plenty of stuff for the kids to do. And one of the reasons behind that is so that, the kids can play and the adults can play, and, nobody's crashing into each other. You don't hear loud screaming kids in the back of the room when someone's trying to talk, so on and so forth.
Okay, I'm going to have one more question for all of you, and then I'll turn it back to Matt. You're in your 5th year now. Do you all find that you're still getting new things, or you're finding out new things as you go? Is there a new thing that you discover every time you go?
Yes.
That's it, huh? Yes?
Hello? Oh, is this thing working?
Am I on?
Well, I mean,
I had myself muted. Yeah, go ahead, Newell.
No, I was going to say last year, I think last year's Magic Meets cost me about $3,500.
Whoa. That's what you found out?
Because what happened is we attended the Adventures by Disney breakout room. And I brought my wife, and she was so amazed by what Deb and Becky were talking about at the session that we signed up, and we're going to Wyoming 2 weeks after Magic Meets. So something that I probably would have never done, we decided to do just by attending that breakout session. So yeah, I did learn that new last year.
Absolutely, Mike. I think, one of the things that really makes the event so much fun is that you go every year, Chris, there's different speakers every time. And, Newell and I are usually actually in the ballroom. We don't get to go to the breakout sessions because, someone's got to do the show. But we get to enjoy the breakout, the main ballroom speeches. And every year there's always something different to talk about. It's not the same old stuff every year. It's different and interesting topics. And certainly, I think just going one year, you're going to want to come back again next year immediately, because I think you're really going to have a blast with it. Scopa?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm getting really excited about this.
Well, I don't know if I learn anything. I think the thing that surprises me every year is that the amount of passion that is shown by those in attendance. I know that I've had the honor of being a keynote speaker for 2 years, and I can't get over how attentive the audience is when I was up there talking. It was you couldn't hear a pin drop. I mean, you could hear a pin drop, and the thing is that they're anything Disney. These people who attend these Magic Meets, they're pure Disney fans, and I think what this does for me every year, it energizes what I do with blogs, with the show, and it really gives me, it fuels my energy, and it makes me realize how much Disney magic extends throughout the year to all these people. So I think that's what I learn every year, Chris. As far as other things, yeah, I'm sure I learn a few things here and there, but I think that it's a re-education to me as to how important Disney is to a lot of these people.
Absolutely. And don't forget that, our coverage again, August 8th, 2009, starting at 8 a.m. Eastern time. So for those of you who can't make it there, you'll be able to at least enjoy some stuff online. For those of you who are going there, you'll see all of us over there at Newell and Scope and myself at all around, Friday, Saturday, even parts of Sunday, and maybe even a little before that. We're all around there. That's what's really going to be a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to meeting all of our listeners who are going to be there. It's always a wonderful time. So we're really looking forward to it. And Chris, hope we answer some questions for you.
You did. It was wonderful, and I'm really looking forward to it now. And it's a good primer because I'm going to be going down to the World on the 20th, so it's going to be a nice little boost to get to talk before I go.
Absolutely. And don't forget that this episode of WDW Today has been sponsored by All-Star Vacation Homes. And when, after you get all pumped up for Magic, you say, yeah, Disney World, baby.
Yeah, baby.
You go down and it's like, I really wasn't imagining a small wee little room over there at a Valley Resort. Why not get a great big house to yourself or your family? Get your own private pool, get your own great amenities. That way, when after a long day at the parks, spending and enjoying it all there, why not come back, relax in your pool, have a nice beverage, spend time with the family, not just cramped in a little room. All-Star Vacation Home offers you all that and more. Visit them online at www.allstarvacationhomes.com. And don't forget also that at Magic Meets this year, actually, speaking of All-Star Vacation Homes, Sarah Moore is going to be there. You may have heard her on our live shows that we've done at All-Star Vacation Homes. So she's going to be there. The Miss All-Star Vacation Home, I'm sure that's her title, is going to be there for you to talk to and get any questions answered. So she'll be there as well. So stop by her table and say hi. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the WDW Today website at WDWtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, Chris Eliopoulos, and Fred Block, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you at Magic Meets.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.